Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Living Real TV. We have another amazing episode where we're going to be diving deep into what it means to be a woman in today's world and running your own business. And we are so grateful to have all of you guys here today. So, Karissa, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Loving it. It's warm out. It's summertime. Like, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about life.
So great. And we have also a wonderful guest. Ashley Nicole Fowler is here with us.
Yes.
A dear friend of mine. We've known each other for maybe about, 5 years now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so she's going to be sharing with us some of her tips to success. But before we get down, let's go back to one of the very first questions that Ashley asked us as we took a seat on the couch. She's like, when am I going to get my drink? Well,
yes.
Ashley, it's time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Dion, what are we doing over here today?
I am about to take you ladies to another island yet again. This time we're going to go into the Atlantic and we're going to Jamaica. We're going to do that with some of this plantation Jamaican rum.
Yeah.
And a little 99 bananas. We're going to make ourselves a Jamaican daiquiri. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's appropriate
I know.
for me to say.
Ashley, you were just saying how you want to go to the Bahamas and
I
that
know.
good, and we're
That
kind of
was
bringing it to you.
perfect. Yes, he must have overheard.
Wishes granted. So we're going to start out with a little simple syrup for these. So all daiquiris require simple syrup. Da-da-da. And our next ingredient is going to be some fresh squeezed lime juice. Also
I
important
do love
for
that lime
daiquiris.
juice.
I feel like this season I've done more lime than I have in past seasons, you know?
Yeah,
I think
no
he's
complaints.
like picking up on our vibes. He's really starting to get a feel for the spirits that we love.
We're just vibing, you know?
I'm excited to try something new. After COVID, my taste buds changed. So now I'm like experimenting what I like and I don't. So this will be great.
Good.
Bringing up an interesting
I hope you like bananas because 99 bananas is it's got a very banana forward flavor to it.
Okay.
Love it.
I like banana splits.
I do.
And I like bananas in my protein shakes. So
I do like a banana daiquiri too. So.
I immediately went to the banana runts. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're always my favorite, so.
And we finish these off with a little bit of Jamaican rum. Any of you ever go bobsledding?
No, that sounds
You
really
ever heard
fun.
the story of the Jamaican bobsled team?
Was that, I forget the name of that.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings,
Runnings.
that's what it is.
That was my favorite movie when I was a kid.
Really?
That and Sister Act. I love
Love
Sister Act.
Sister Act.
That's great.
All right, what song are we going to be shaking to today?
A song from Sister Act. And
The magic's all in the shaking.
Do you remember what he called this one? 99 bananas?
Well, the liqueur is 99 bananas. What do we call this one? Again, it's just a Jamaican daiquiri?
it's just a Jamaican daiquiri.
We know it's not just the
It's never
Jamaican
just.
Yeah, I'm like, anything Dion puts out is never a just.
Exactly.
We got to come up with something. Well, how about we'll come up with the name after we try it?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, they look so refreshing.
Call it Going Bananas.
She gone bananas. That's like the new, she crazy.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for today because we're talking all about mad hustle and women who got it, and also, of course,
And sometimes we
love.
go bananas.
I was going to say, sometimes I go bananas. Yes.
The best part about having it is you can go bananas, you know?
Love it.
Those look
And
beautiful.
Another island just for you ladies from my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dion.
All right, well, cheers to going bananas, ladies.
Let's go bananas together.
Cheers.
That's the only way to do it, right? Together. Ooh, that's strong.
It is very strong.
I like it. I can taste the rum in there. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
That's
you're gonna
good.
hear all my deep dark secrets by the time I get done with this.
This is
That's
our
why we do this.
This is our secret.
Exactly.
You know, back when I was young, I would get, not young, okay, my first apartment, I found the secret to getting guys to take off their shirts. I would keep my thermostat up very hot.
Wait, I gotta take notes on this.
Yeah, and they were like, it's so warm in here. And I mean, I have Hashimoto, so I'm cold all the time. So it was not like a strategy, but it worked. It worked. They were like, oh, it's getting hot in here. And they're like, just stripping for me. I'm like, look at this.
Yes.
Ask and you shall receive.
I like it.
And Dale wonders why our bedroom is always hot.
Well, we've got a hot conversation today.
We do, but before we do, we gotta dive into our question of the day, and I
Yeah.
think this is perfect in line with our Jamaican drink here. So the question that I have for you is, what is a song that whenever you hear it playing, you cannot hold back from dancing?
Well, I am Puerto Rican, so we dance to everything. Even the songs that nobody hears, will be like, what are you dancing? I'm like, it's in my brain. But the song that really just comes to mind is Mad Love by Sean Paul. And it's like a special song now because about 6 years ago, I got asked, and then I felt like it was a task, but I got asked if I wanted to be a crowd motivator. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And the event coordinator said, well, we need someone to come up and pump up 800 coaches after all of the keynote speakers. Like, everyone's been sitting for 45 minutes. So, like, I was like, I think I could do that. Yeah, like, okay, I love to dance. And you know, so I choreographed it all, but my very first one was Mad Love. And I just rocked that stage. And so forever, even no, it's like, it's not a favorite song even, but it's just a song that I could really come up with choreography that everyone could do. But it's now so special. So when I hear it, I think, wow, that was a moment of like badassery. My first time on stage out of 800 people, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. But the minute I hear it, I just start, you know, going with it.
Great.
Going with it.
Awesome. What about
Now,
you?
are we talking about when I'm out with my friends,
Ooh,
or are we
yeah,
talking
different.
about when I'm at home with my kids? Because I feel like I've got two different
Yeah, well,
answers
give us
there,
both.
you know?
Give us both.
Okay, so if I'm out with my friends and My Pony by Genuine comes on, my husband knows that gets me going. That's like,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
I get up and I start dancing. Not that I'm a good dancer by any means, but I sure give it a go. And then at home, I have boys, okay, and they are 17 and 14, and so this is not something you would expect, but we'll be, you know, in the kitchen making dinner, and I'll just put on like Frozen, Let It Go, and they come in the kitchen. I know, but they'll come in the kitchen with me, and we'll sing, like, you know, we use our plastic spoons to sing and dance, and you know, it's a lot of fun. We all do it in joking fun, but it's awesome. We love it.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah.
Now, you don't have girls.
I have one stepdaughter. Yes,
Okay,
I do.
okay.
Yes, yeah. So, and then like Moana songs, you know, if they
Yes.
come on, we're just like all over. So we love it.
Doing the hula. And
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, it's really
Aw.
fun. They have plenty of music that I don't really listen to
Sure.
that they could dance to, but yeah.
I love it. Mine is going to be Vacation by the Go-Go's. You know, no, I'm not going to sing it. And I know I'm probably dating myself since I'm older than both of you, but for me, it brings me back to high school and when I used to drive over the hills from San Jose to Santa Cruz, and it just sort of brings me back to that, you know, that favorite time of my life, and it just always reminds me of summer, and it kind of just puts me in that mindset.
Isn't it so cool how a song can just take
Yes.
you back? I mean,
Yes.
it's almost like you hear it and you can smell the smells that you had,
Absolutely.
and you can feel the surroundings that you had. It's just amazing.
It's a full experience. I
Yeah.
mean, and at every point in life, I mean, I was on the skating rink, right, doing the Macarena. So every time I hear the Macarena, I'm
Absolutely.
like, I could do this backwards going
I
skating.
know, yes.
Like everything. I
Yeah.
love how music really touches your soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
sure.
awesome. So,
Cool.
well, let's go ahead and start diving into, you know, why we're here, which is to talk about what it really means to be a woman in today's world. And, you know, Ashley, one of the reasons we really wanted to have you on the show is because you are running your own business. You are a very successful realtor here in the Omaha area.
Yes.
But, you know, you really have learned some of the tricks. I'm not saying it's all perfect, but some of the tricks of how to see the business growth, but also, again, still show up as a wife, as a mom, as a friend, and deliver such stellar value and an experience to your clients. So before we kind of dive into some of the strategies, which we'll really do in our second half, we'd love to hear just a little bit more of your story. How did you even become a realtor? How did you become?
How did I become me?
Dancing in the kitchen.
Dancing in the kitchen of Frozen. Yeah. So I mean, I have a story. You know, every one of us has a story, and so when growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. You know, my favorite experiences as a child were in a one-bedroom apartment with me and my dad, you know, and then when he met my stepmom and we lived in the trailer, and which is one of my favorite sayings, you know, you can always take the girl out of the trailer park, but you can't take the trailer park out of the girl. I still got that. I was still there. But, you know, I didn't come from much. And I remember when I first started selling real estate, which was 16 years ago, another broker in town, was very prominent, very successful broker, asked my broker, who is she? Who's her family? And he's like, you don't know them.
Do I know her?
No, they followed that up with, well, where does she get her business? Oh. Yeah, so it was like this, you know, God forbid I be confident and do this on my own. It must be that I came from money or from something.
And somebody's handing you the
somebody's
business.
handing me this business, you know, and that was not the case at all. I was very young when I started selling real estate. I was 19 years old. Wow. I had a baby. I was the youngest person in the MLS, okay? It kills me that I'm not anymore. So, but I was the youngest person in the MLS. The broker, you know, I had decided that I was going to buy a house. This young, I'm going to buy a house. So I called this guy on the sign and he showed it to me and he said, hey, have you ever thought about selling real estate? And I'm like, I am 19 years old and I have a brand new baby. I haven't thought about anything. Right. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing, you know. And in my mind, I thought, I can't sell real estate. Like, people that buy houses have money. Yeah. I came from this. We don't have money. I don't know people. And this particular gentleman, he was amazing, gave me all the confidence I needed. He said, you'd be really great at this. And so then I approached my then husband, who I'm no longer married to, and said, this is what I want to do. And this guy said I would be really good at it. And he told me that that was a really dumb idea and that I would just start school and quit, and there was no reason to do it. And sometimes it takes somebody giving you that to just like, Watch me. Watch me.
Spike can be a great motivator.
Watch me. So at that point, you know, 19, young, having a baby, the ex-spouse was not spiritually, emotionally, financially supportive in any way. So I actually had to go to someone else to get the money to take my classes. As soon as I brought it up to them, they were like, absolutely. Like, you can do this. They had all the faith in the world in me. And so I went into this with, I cannot fail. It's not going to happen. I cannot fail. I can't let this person down that just invested this money into me. So I took my classes. I got all my classes done in 2 weeks. Because again, that little bit of spite, it's like, I'm going to do it, you know.
It's a daily dose of bananas.
It is. And I remember walking around, I was a CNA, and I'd have like note cards in my pockets, and in between patients, I'd pull them out and, you know, read my note cards, and I took my exam.
So you even had a job.
Oh,
you even had
two jobs at that time,
And someone saw potential.
Yes.
So I want to stop really quickly right there, because there's a lot of really juicy golden nuggets that you've already given us. Number one is, all it takes is one person to believe in you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, the one guy says, I think you'd be really good at it, right? And then it like sparks your interest.
Do you remember who it was for you that believed in you?
Let's see, at what point in my life?
Yeah, I know. I've had some amazing mentors, and it was the same thing, that, you know, if they're willing to invest in me, maybe I don't see it right now, but I think that that's a great lesson is, you know, just because you may not see it for yourself, seek out those people, because again, all it takes is one person, because when you start sitting back and saying, wow, if they see it in me, maybe I can too.
Something is there.
Something is there.
It's a spark.
Yeah.
And the second thing you said is, you know, when you didn't have the support at home, on the home front, where we should have it, you know, you were not afraid to go out and ask for something that you knew could have been a hell no.
Yep.
Like they could have been like, I don't really, what am I
Absolutely.
getting out of this, right?
Absolutely.
So kudos.
Thank
Like
you.
literally,
Thank you.
like that's a boss up day moment.
Thank
2
you.
times.
Yeah.
So,
And I
love
was
it.
young, 19, like, oh.
Love it. So I didn't want to
thank
interrupt,
you.
but those were
Yeah.
golden.
Really
Good.
important. Again,
Yeah.
don't
Good.
be afraid to ask, because
Yeah.
you just never know.
No, no. So I went and the real estate exam was 33% pass rate at the time, and I went into that test with there was not an option to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not going to happen. So I passed on my first try. And something important that I think everybody should know is that there's always going to be people that are better than you, and finding those people and following them around, whether it's like a lost puppy or, you know, whether they let you or not, you know, maybe you stalk them 6 cars back,
Yes.
whatever it is, following those people around is so important.
Huge.
Um,
One of my early mentors always told me success leaves clues. And
Oh,
it was
yes.
the same thing.
Don't
I
reinvent the
remember sitting down in my first few years when I first had my real estate license, the same thing. I would just listen
Yes.
to those agents. I would watch them, you know, and I still do it now. I was talking with my son the other day because he's kind of got the entrepreneurial bug in him. And I was like, go find people who are successful in the areas you want to be successful
Yes.
in. You know, and now when I seek out coaches, it's like I seek out coaches who are speakers, who are doing those things.
The
so
things
I
that you
can
want to
learn.
do. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, why would you pay for a service from someone who's never walked that
Oh,
walk?
100%.
Yeah.
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 That's
So
like,
this guy let me follow him around in his truck, and he just took me right under his wing, and had some of the best years of my life. And the company I worked for was amazing. But then I hit a time where that spouse was it was not going to work. You know, it was not going to work. So suddenly I found myself as a newly divorced mother of 2 boys and living on a commission, living on a paycheck that I could not count on.
Yeah.
Yes. And back then, you know, I wasn't good at budgeting my money. It was like, I remember Thanksgiving, I had a closing for a foreclosed property. It was $599,000, and my paycheck was $10,000. My broker let me have that check before it actually came in, and I blew over half of it on Black Friday, okay? Not smart at all, not smart at all. So when it came to being a single mom of 2 children and already having somebody that didn't financially support, and now he's pretty much phased out of the picture completely, I had to do this on my own, and I didn't know the things that I know now. So I left the business. I kept my license, but I wasn't doing any business. I went and got a job that paid me $10 an hour.
Wowza.
And I drove 40 minutes a day. Well, it was about 30 minutes a day to work, and it took me about a year, just under a year, of working for someone else. 9 to 5 at a paycheck that couldn't get any better.
Yeah.
In fact, I tried. I said I need a raise. The guy told me no, and it was at that point that I left. I said I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm raising kids.
Yeah,
doesn't make-
can't
it
do
doesn't
it.
make sense.
Can't do it. And he was one of my very best friends, and to this day is still a great friend. And another person that helped shape me into who I am. But I left that job, first job I've ever quit in my life, like quit on the spot. It was basically you don't like it, get out. And I was like, okay, I'm out. You know?
bye.
Yeah. And then I cried in my car, like, what did I just do? Oh my
Did I
God.
make a mistake?
Yeah, so I called that original person that believed in me, and I said, hey, can I use you as a reference, you know, on job applications? And he said, yeah, of course you can. I hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, he called me, and he said, don't fill anything out. I got something for you. And he was doing, still doing real estate, but he had taken over Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac foreclosed properties.
Okay.
And so he had me come in and take over the position of his admin, and that's what got me back into real estate. So it wasn't my favorite thing doing the foreclosed properties, but it was putting food on the table, you know, and that's what was important in that moment
at that
is
time.
I have to take care of these kids. I'm raising them by myself, and I have to make it work.
Yeah.
So
And I love, just to stop for a second again, this idea, and I think so many women, you know, think that having the commission-based income is not security. And, you know, learning that when you are betting on yourself, again, the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
And we think sometimes having that safe paycheck of $10 an hour, $20 an hour, but again, you know, when we really dive in and focus on what we need to focus on, you know, going commissioned, it can seem uncertain, but when you're in control of it, it can be actually building more certainty.
Yes, and that's the thing, is I flipped from, I can have this $10 an hour job that will always be there for me, or I can go back into real estate. I can make real estate my B, for lack of better words, and I can make this work, and I will have steady income for the rest of my life. But I have to put in the work.
Right.
I have to do the things that make this successful. I was at that point never going to go back to a 9-to-5 job. So just like when I took my real estate exam and I went into that saying I cannot fail, I came back into real estate with that same mentality of I cannot fail. It's not an option. I will not go back to that ever.
And that's the difference between a victim mindset and a driven one, right?
Yes.
Like I'm unstoppable, I'm going to rise regardless.
Yes.
So whether it's this or that, I'm going up, baby girl.
Absolutely.
Like I am not willing to stay where I'm at. I'm not willing to blame everyone for now I'm not
And
willing
again,
to
knowing
make
that I'm not going back. Going backwards is not an option too.
Right. Yes.
I mean, sometimes, let's be real, ladies. We got to go back to take another 10 steps forward. We all do that.
Yes, and that's what I say though. You reflect on that. You reflect on what you went through. You reflect on the failure. And this is any business. It's not just real estate. It's just life in general. You reflect on that and what happened, and you take from that and you make it better. You grow from that. And I did. I grew, and my kids grew with me, which was amazing. In 2015, I decided to give up the foreclosure part of the business, and that was also some security, you know, so it was commission-based, but there was a lot more foreclosures happening then. And so I decided to give that up and do full-time residential real estate. Here we go. And I have had, since 2016 to 2021, the best years of my life. The best years in terms of income, the best years in terms of happiness, the best years in terms of just every aspect of my life. In the midst of that, I met my amazing husband that I have now. He has since adopted my 2 boys. So now we all are, one great family. But a lot of it is because of the mentality that I had. I didn't put myself in a hole. I could have. How many people are abused by husbands or, have financial insecurity? Yes, and they just put themselves in that hole. And I said, I'm never going to go there. I'm never going to go there. And I didn't allow myself. And I remember one thing I did with my kids that was really cool, and they won't forget it. They won't let me forget it, okay? So I was busy, real busy, and selling quite a few houses, and I didn't quite know how to manage all of this yet, between having kids, working, being a wife, all the things. So I told them, here's a board, and if mom sells 1 house, this is your price. If mom sells 2 houses, this is your price. And I remember putting on there, if mom sells 6 houses this month, 6 houses, you get $100, okay? So my kids flipped from, how come you're not home? Why are you not here? To, did you sell a house today? What did you do to sell a house today?
They became your cheerleaders.
They were my accountability partners. They were like, did you do this? So first month, I hit 6 houses. They each get $100. And I was like, okay, all right, cool,
It's like the grades at first.
Exactly.
You're like, okay, you're actually really smart.
Second month, I hit it, and they're like, and they're going to the bank and like cashing their little checks and everything. Third month, I hit it again. I was like, I think I'm going to need to change this a little bit. Like, my kids are going to be rich little kids, you know? So I did. I changed it up. Now we don't do the board anymore at all. And they're every once in a while, they'll bring it up. They're like, can you do that board thing again? No, I'm not going to do the board thing again. Now you just need to support mom, right?
Exactly.
But I think, that's my story. I came from nothing, and I took what I came from, not to say my family is nothing, because they are amazing and they are supportive,
and that past
they are awesome.
Is who you are today, and
Yes.
it's in our DNA, like it is, right?
Yes.
We're either fighters, we're going to go for it, or we're going to be that victim. So, Ashley, we are going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we are going to come back with some amazing strategies. Because
I want to hear how you make it work.
Sure.
She mentioned accountability. She mentioned creating a team. She mentioned all kinds of amazing golden nuggets. We are going to dive into all that and how you can, turn those struggles and make them your B, like Ashley said, and really create the ultimate best life ever. So with that, we'll be right back.
365 Daily Hustle is a global health coaching company helping purpose-driven women boss up and get healthy so that they can truly show up and thrive in the world. We help women lose weight, gain energy, and feel sexy and confident in their bodies. We help women create sustainable habits that support a positive mindset, nutrition, exercise plans, stress relief, and of course, self-care. If you're tired of feeling like a failure when it comes to your weight loss and health goals, please visit our website at 365dailyhustle.com or join the Healthy Hustle Facebook community today for healthy tips, recipes, workouts, and more.
We are back with part 2 of an amazing episode that we are calling Women Who Got That Mad Hustle and Awesome Flow. And today's guest is Ashley, and she is a powerhouse realtor here in the Nebraska area. I'm sure she can sell houses anywhere, but she chooses to be here for today. This is her home, and we were honestly just diving into, you know, your story and the fact that you are successful and that you can make anything from nothing. Like really, if you have the drive and the mindset and the determination and the accountability and the willpower, and that's so fantastic. But the second half, we really love. Yeah. We really love because it's all about the strategies. It's about the woman who's watching today that says, I can relate to her, and if she can do it, I can do it.
Sure. Yeah, and one of the comments that you made in the first half was that, you know, when you sort of let go of some of the security behind the paycheck, you actually made more money.
Yes.
And you had a better quality of life. You had better relationships. You had more time. You ended up, you know, making space and meeting your husband. So what would you say are some of the winning strategies that you have put into play to allow you to step into your greatness?
Yeah, so I would say number one, for anybody, it does not matter what business you are in, right? You have to have a schedule. There has to be a schedule. And you have to put in your schedule time for updating your database. You know, who are you going to talk to that week? Who have you talked to that week? Because we all get so many phone calls every day, and then we hang up the phone, we forget who we talked to, and if you're not updating that constantly, you're going to lose so many people that could have been so great for you.
Right.
And like I said, that doesn't matter if it's, maybe somebody sells makeup. You know, I told this to my stepmom. She did that for a long time. And I said, people that say to you, hey, what is that lipstick? You know, go home, write them down, make sure you follow up with them later and say, I have this.
I mean, Claire and I just started a new collagen business. And we bought into it. One of our coaches and mentors got us in. And, you know, I really have noticed, because that's a residual income, right?
Yes.
Like, smart women are women who don't just put one eggs and like, hope to God, like this all works out on this side. Like we like to have a lot of stream of income coming in. And I'm sure as a realtor, right, you're like, I got lots of houses, all kinds of cool things. But yeah, it's in the follow-up, you know, it really is. It's like, it's the woman that says, not today, I'm okay. And I'm like, okay, I won't remember you, girl. And then I text you in a couple weeks, and you're like, you know what, it's time.
Yes. But it's scheduling the time to do those things.
Now, what was it though, sorry to cut you off, but what was it though that got you to understand the importance of a schedule? Because that is probably the number one thing that I try to work with people on creating as well. And people fight me tooth and nail. I don't want to schedule. I want to be my own boss. It's too regimented. I can't.
I love that. I want freedom.
You know, I don't want someone else telling me what to do. But again, I firmly believe that you have to have a schedule too.
Yes, because if you are your own boss, right? So if I am my own boss, would I fire myself if I didn't do the things, right? If I didn't follow the schedule and I worked for somebody else, would they fire me? Absolutely. So I think that's the thing about being self-employed is people think I have all this freedom, I have all this time, I can do what I want with my schedule. But if you're not scheduling the right things and doing the things it takes to be successful, you should be fired. You should fire yourself. Right. You know, so I think for me, the schedule thing really came into play when I did want the freedom. I wanted to be able to see my kids' baseball games, go to their soccer games. Well, they never played soccer. I shouldn't say that. I just, whatever. I'm throwing stuff out, right? Soccer mom. Yeah. No, I wanted to go to their baseball games. I wanted to go to their wrestling meets. I wanted to go to those things. So I had to ensure that I not only scheduled my family time in, but I also scheduled all the things I needed to get done to make sure that I could enjoy that family time without thinking about work. So it's sitting down every Sunday night and saying, this is what I have for the week. Where am I going to put it? Here's my family stuff. That goes in first. Your family stuff goes in first.
Yeah.
And if I have a client that says, I can only meet you on Wednesday night at 5 o'clock, and I say to them, I already have an appointment at that time, well, can you move that appointment? Unfortunately, I cannot. My son has a baseball game. And if they want to say to me, well, I'm sorry, then you lose my business, so be it. I would not have wanted to work with you anyway, you know?
Right. Can I pause on that, because we talk a lot that business owner, you're in charge of your own schedule. But for those of you who work for someone, right, I think then it comes down to, yes, you still plan it and you still schedule it, but now more than ever do you need to use your communication skills with your bosses, with your leadership, with your management that says, this is a priority and I value my family time, and I'm going to ask that you don't ever ask me to blur those lines.
Yes.
So that's a boundary that if you guys aren't self-employed, right? Because a lot of people still work for people.
But even when you are self-employed and with everybody, again, setting the expectations. You know, this is a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
And communication is such a huge part of it. And you're right, the right people will support you in doing this.
And your leadership will.
Yes.
They don't want to work when they have their own family time. Like, they will respect that. And if not, then I want you to really sit and think about who you're working for.
Absolutely.
Because there are 1,000 bazillion jobs out there.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to give that little drop.
I love
there.
it, yeah. But I think the schedule is so important. I mean, I could not do the level of business that I do without having a schedule, without knowing that every Monday I send this to my clients. Every Tuesday I do this. Every Friday I do pop-bys. I could not do this level of business without having a schedule. And I don't think anybody can. I mean, they might be able to tell you they can. There's no way somebody cannot be organized with their life and do the level of business that you want to do. So scheduling is absolutely number one, most important.
So on the schedule, because again, we're talking about living real here.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to do it 100% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So what, if you had to guess, what percentage would you say that you follow your schedule?
70%.
See?
Yeah.
And you're still having great
95.
success.
Yeah.
But I've scheduled enough stuff, like the fun stuff, the health stuff, the family stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like my schedule rules me by any means. That's why I can probably say realistically, I mean, even at 7 p.m. it says bedtime, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I follow you schedule.
Yes.
So,
But I just wanted to hit on, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be 100% for you to reap the benefits of it. It's more in the consistency factor.
It is.
And being as close to it as possible.
Yes. And if I have something that comes up and I need to move something, I move it. It's not like I'm a Nazi about, I have to do this on this time. And it's allowing yourself breathing time in between. Because I think when people start scheduling, they will say, at this time I do this, at this time I do this, at this time I do this, and they've got it back to back to back to back, and don't leave any time for buffer. You gotta have the buffer time. And I promise you, there's 24 hours in a day and it will all fit. And it was hard for me to understand that in the beginning, but I do now. It fits, it does. You prioritize the things that are most important, the rest of them fall into place. But that's really prioritize, and prioritize the family time. That's so important. I know that from 5 to 7, I'm not available because I'm going to be cooking dinner. The kids have nothing that night. I'm cooking dinner. And we do family dinner. We listen to music. We talk at the table. We all sit together. And that's important. I schedule that in. It's in.
I've coached a lot of realtors, and I'll be honest, their schedules are probably the worst I've ever seen. Out of all the people that I work with, I'm like, you feel that your client's time is more important and you value that appointment, that they're like, I have to. The contracts come in at midnight. I'm like, you should be sleeping at midnight. Are you kidding me? Who cares if it comes in?
Yeah.
And I want to ask, have you felt that, having a schedule, speaking to this, has been at a detriment? Have you lost business because of it?
No.
You're probably the most successful you've ever been.
Yeah. No, I have not. No.
And that's what I want people to hear is, again, regardless of the industry, when you get clear and when you really are purposeful with your time, again, your business will actually expand.
And it's being honest with people, right? It's saying, I know that you are another realtor, let's just use another realtor for an example, and they call and say, hey, it's 12 o'clock on this day, I'm going to bring you an offer, it expires at 5 p.m. Okay, I need to let you know, number one, my client is at work, but number two, I already have appointments from this time to this time. I'm not going to be able to present that. would you give us a couple more? I can have an answer by this time, you know? And it's setting that expectation with everyone around you, your clients, your coworkers, you know, everyone. It's just being honest, because most people understand. They're like, I totally get it. You know, the reason I did 5 o'clock is because my daughter has a dance recital tonight. They understand, you know, but I think people get afraid. They are
exactly what
afraid
it is.
that if they say something, they're going to lose the business. You're not.
Or that devalues you because you value your family.
I know. The right people will wait for you.
They
The right
really
people will be there.
I mean, I've been working with, you know, people in the real estate industry for 25 years, and that's what I will say is all the top agents I know are very regimented and very focused on their schedules. And that's one of the reasons why they're top agents. They don't lose business. People actually respect them more. So one of the other things I want to talk about, and because you and I have known each other for a long time, I know this, also getting clear on not doing it all. And the idea, and I know that this is not something that came naturally to you. You had to learn this power of delegation in building your team and bringing that up. But I know you have sort of a system, and you have sort of identified what your value is as far as your dollar per hour. And you've identified that if something is going, that you can hire someone else to do it for a certain amount of money, that you're going to delegate it out. So talk a little bit about that, how you came to that realization and how it's impacted you.
Absolutely. So I have a set dollar amount. I don't know if you want me to say that. It's $100 an hour. If the task in front of me is not going to make me $100 an hour, it's not worth my time to do. I can hire that out, right? I can pay somebody $15 or $20 an hour to do that. It'll take them 2 hours. I just saved myself $60 on time that I could have been spending talking to clients that will net me that $100 an hour, right? 100%. And so I hired my first admin in 2017, I believe, and my production doubled. You know, because I wasn't spending time doing the little tasks that are, I don't want to say mindless, because they're not, but they're just things that are not going to directly bring me business, but I can delegate that to them. They can do it. I can work on making my phone calls. I can work on following up with a client that I haven't talked to in 3 months. I can work on the things that are going to net me more money in the end.
You're going to work on the things that are under the umbrella of your role as the CEO of your business. So I don't know too many CEOs out there that are pututting
together
stamps on
Popeyes.
envelopes and putting together files and folders.
It's the identity shift from I'm real estate agent to entrepreneur to CEO. That's a shift. Right? Because would a CEO be doing that type of stuff? Would she be sending the DMs? Would she be taking these calls at midnight? No. Right? So you got to start thinking it. You got to start walking that path, and then you start to believe it, and your brain, I'm telling you, will find ways for money like that to come.
And
through.
I love that you touched on that, because mindset is huge in my business, and it's thinking and knowing and feeling and seeing. You know, it is not that I want this to happen. It is that this has already happened. This is happening. This has already happened. So I'm huge on daily affirmations, and Clara is to thank for that. But I've written the same affirmation for 5 years. It has not changed, and I continue to hit that goal that I have written every single day. I continue to hit it over and over and over and over again.
Well, I think when you claim it, you start to own it. You believe it.
I do.
Right? And then I believe that the universe will now, like, if I say, don't look at the red cars, you're now all going to find the red cars.
Exactly.
So it really is. It's setting that. You probably do it in the morning, if I had to guess, right? You're like, this is the intention. This is the affirmation. This is the life that I'm going to be living. And I guarantee if you guys do that minor shift in your schedule, just 2 seconds to sit. You can do it on the toilet, right? Like, I am this, and proudly claim it. You will quickly see that become your reality.
Yeah, because the thing is that I write that every day, and if there's a morning that I wake up and I think to myself, I am tired, I don't want to get out of bed, I stayed up too late last night, I watched too many Netflix episodes, you know, whatever it is, I don't want to get up right now. That little thing in my head says, but you make X dollar amount per month, and if you want to make that, you have to get out of bed. You have to be a CEO. You have to be a boss. You have to be there for your team. You have to be there for your admin. And I get up out of bed and I do it, you know, because I have those daily affirmations, and that mindset shift has happened. And it's not
the identity you have of I am a CEO, I'm running a business.
Yes, and it's not to say I ever get off track.
Sure.
Every year, a certain point of the year, I cry because where's my next business going to come from? And I get all up in arms, and I get in this weird mindset. And then it takes doing my affirmations, talking to my coach, talking to my broker, and helping me see that it's your mindset. You're being poor Betty right now,
Yeah, poverty Betty.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Flip your mindset. You're going to be fine. And I do. And it's like, bam, there it happens. In April this year, I put together 18 sides for $4 million, which isn't much in California, but 18 sides here is pretty amazing,
Amazing.
Yeah, so let's
In
not
any
talk
market,
about the $4 million.
18
but
sides is amazing.
It is, and it's because I shifted my mindset. My broker came in and he said, hey, what did you do? Because I want to tell other people.
You've been shifting your mindset since you were in a trailer park.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You said, I am not going to live like this.
Yes.
I am going to live like
Absolutely.
that. And that's all you have. That's the power of an I am statement.
Yes. Yes.
So give
And I
yourself
do it.
credit for when you were even young.
Yes.
You knew what you needed.
Yeah.
And you had to claim that.
Yes,
You had to
and
claim
I
it.
do. And I
Yeah.
don't forget my past. I don't let that go. I don't
it's
just forget.
yeah.
It drives me every single day, so.
How would you say, because one of the things we talk about a lot in these episodes is one of our greatest strengths is ourselves, our own authenticity. How do you leverage your authenticity in what you do, and how do you feel that helps you?
Yeah. I am a very loving person. Okay. And my hashtag for my business is I do it because I love it. And I am very genuine in that. I could call any one of my past clients and say, hey, I broke down on the side of the road and I'm about 2 blocks from your house. Can you come help me? And they would come help me, because any business, not just real estate, any business is about building relationships, okay? And I have built strong relationships with all of my clients because I genuinely enjoy it. I don't do it because it makes me money, but I do it because it fills my soul. I do a Bible study every Monday. I have past clients that come to my Bible study with me on Monday, like that relationship is real. And so many of my clients by the end, they're like, I love you. You're so amazing. And it's that hug and that, it's real. It's genuine. I'm authentic in what I do because I genuinely care for people. And even like little things, like seeing a 4-year-old little girl, I got her a little Barbie house or something for a closing gift. She got one too. And so seeing her light up about, this is my room and I'm so happy. And, if I come back and check out the house and the people show me what they've done, it genuinely brings me joy to see that. And so, and I think that's in any business. It is.
We were just talking about, like on an earlier episode, way in the earlier season, it's the 1% that's going to make you stand out.
Yes.
Grassroots marketing all day long. I'm a big believer in that. It's who you know and how you build that relationship. But those 1%, that dollhouse, adorable idea, right? I remember it wasn't my realtor, it was my good friend, but my best friend bought a house from a realtor, and she actually loves painting. I'm like, I hate painting. That would be a job that I would totally hire out to do. She moved into this house and needed an all-new paint job, and this realtor that my best friend didn't even know, just happened to take my word on the referral. She's like, I love painting. I'll come over and help you paint.
Yeah.
And Jen's like, wait, you're going to help me paint my house that I just bought from you? Like, the transaction's over.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, because it's more about the relationship.
It is.
And Jen will never forget the realtor that come over and paint my house.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And people that call you and they ask for advice, and that's going to happen in any business that you're in, that they just want to know. Like, they don't want to necessarily pay you to say, can you help me answer this question? I'll just
What's my house
answer,
worth?
Right, just answer the question. Just help me. And people like me that are willing, call me. I don't care what the question is. I will answer it for you. That's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
Your friend has a question, tell him to call me. It's not a big deal because that's going to build that relationship, which I love, and then it's going to see itself over and over and over again because that person remembers and that person remembers and that person remembers.
I think about my attorney. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could have charged me $100 for that one call, but because you didn't, I'm loyal, right? Like, I will always come back. I will tell all my friends about you.
Yes.
Like, that's more important than the $100 at the time.
Absolutely.
And again, it's that mindset of abundance versus the mindset of scarcity.
Yes.
It's not, again, what is it costing me now? It's that investment in value in your future, in taking care of people. And I always tell people, especially if they're in any type of sales, which I believe everybody's in sales of some sort, it's how are you showing up today? What is the value? And rather than waking up every day saying, who can I sell something to today? It's who can I serve today?
Yes.
You know?
So much.
And,
Yes.
you know, I know for me as I was building my coaching business, and even now when I talk with people, and again, I might just want advice. It might just be like, can you take a look at this? Or can you give me, so many people are like, well, I have a program for that if you want to buy it. And it's like, can you just answer my question?
Yes.
You know?
There's a big difference. I do want to debunk, right? If you're the friend who's constantly going for the advice, like, because as a coach, this happens, right? Like, what diet? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, why don't you actually hire me? Because you guys actually use me.
Different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's the friend who's always like, oh, I always pick up the bad guys. I'm like, it's because you're in the bars, you know?
Yes.
Like, I mean, like, get out of the bar if you don't want to date a drunk, you know?
Right.
There's a point where I'm like, I'm tired of helping you for freezies. Invest in yourself, and that will change. Do you care? Because I know we're getting close on time. I want to switch gears really quick to accountability, because like you've mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah.
Within your first story in part one, you know, you kind of created a sense of family with that accountability. Like, hey boys, let me get your buy-in on mom's hustle so that it's okay for you. The second half you mentioned coach, mentor. So when it comes to accountability, what are like 2 things that help hold yourself accountable nowadays?
Definitely having an accountability partner that's better than me.
Okay.
I'm competitive.
Yes.
So having somebody that's in my business, whether they're across America or they're here, knowing that they're going to beat me is like, okay, well, I gotta hustle up a little more, because this accountability partner is going to say, hey, I did this.
Yes.
What did you do?
Right. In a loving way.
In a loving way. Right. Right. So that is number 1. And number 2, say the question again.
Like, what holds you accountable now to reaching your goals, and which was perfect, right? She did say maverick. To me, I call it the maverick. Find someone who's 10 steps ahead of you.
Yes.
Okay, and then chase, because we are hungry women.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hire a business coach if I want to make $1 million who's not making 6 figures herself.
Yes.
Like, why would I do that? Right. I want to work with people like that.
You also mentioned on Sunday, putting your plan together on Sundays.
Like, what holds you accountable to reaching your goals and growing your business?
Definitely the competitiveness, but number 2 would probably just be, gosh, I don't even know how to answer that. Like, I don't know why, but it's the competitiveness for me. Like, that's what holds me accountable. Like, that's number 1.
This way, what keeps you motivated every day?
Not ever going back to the trailer park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your past.
Yeah.
Pushes you into
absolutely
the future.
100%. I think about that on a daily basis. And another thing for me is I believe in a higher power. God is so good all of the time. All the time God is good. And having my Bible study, and that holds me accountable. Like, God gave me this gift, right? He gave me this gift to talk to people, to sell real estate, to make these relationships. He gave me this gift, and that holds me accountable. Like, I'm not going to just sit back and be like, thank you for this great gift, but I'm not going to use it.
But I'm good over here at the $10 an hour.
No, right. Like,
gratitude.
He gave me this.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it.
Yeah. And showing up for the mentor who trusted in you, for your faith, for your clients, continually showing up for them because they invested their trust in you.
Yeah.
So I think, again, that's that level of integrity.
Yes.
You do. You have to wake up. You have to find the why behind why you're doing it. And the past is your greatest, like, you can learn so much from it.
Yes.
Y'all, I think you even mentioned, something like using your past and your failures to help push you and plummet you into greatness. Totally
I did
doable.
the big board, the Y board. I used to have a Y board all the time. I still have a smaller one at my desk, but I had a big Y board. And the biggest thing on my Y board was never living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. And then the second was, doing this. And then I hit a point in my life that I'd done everything on my Y board. I had to remake the Y board, and now it's got new things on it. But that never living paycheck to paycheck sits there always.
Yeah.
Always.
Last thing, what's your favorite book?
Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, because I've read it 16 times. So, yeah.
Great book.
Yeah, I probably quote it.
If I'm looking in business, Traction by Gino Wickman is a great leadership book. And I also love You Are a Badass. Yeah. And then
That's
I would
great
say
too.
Atomic Habits is up there too.
I'm currently reading Rich as Fuck. Okay. My coach told me about it, and oh my gosh, like, I'm attracting money all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
So y'all, if you want to raise your game in the financial world, dig in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Resources are everywhere. And speaking of books, We have our book. We would love to give it to
Yay,
you.
thank you.
Absolutely. It's how Claire and I
Excited.
met, and it's what will keep us all like really rooted and grounded.
And always reminding us to boss up in everything we do.
Yes.
So
Thank you so
Ashley,
much for
thank
being
you so much for being here. You know, just a wealth of knowledge. Again, one of the biggest hearts of anyone I know, and
you.
I just have always been honored to know you and have you in my circle. So thank you for being with us. And for all of you there at home, thank you for joining us as well today for another powerful episode of Living Real TV. We appreciate you watching, and we are looking forward to the next time we have with you. Until then, I'm Clara Capano.
I'm Karissa Adkins.
Keep living real.